Most of the consultancies and professional charging $1,000 to $1,200 for skill assessment, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can do your skill assessment completely free by yourself, and I'm going to give you in detailed process step by step. Different occupation have their own skill assessment body. For IT it's ACS, for social work it's AASW, Australian Association of Social Workers, for child care it's Australian Children Education and Child Authority. What I recommend you guys is, after watching this documentation part, please go to your occupation skill assessment body and then check what are the additional document you need. Maybe your English requirement is different than accounting, or maybe you need to do professional year program to do your skill assessment. So if you are from the accounting background, then this video is specifically for you. So for accounting, CAANZ, CPA and IPA, out of these three you can choose any of this, and out of these six position you can do skill assessment in any of the position, or if you want you can do in all of these position as well. But maybe if you have overseas degree, this tax accountant will not be for you. So let's go to English language requirement. What are the English language requirement for this? English language requirement. Meeting the English language requirement is a key part of the migration skill assessment process for applicants who wants to study. If you can't meet required score in English, then you can do an accounting professional year program, but this program is already closed, so you do not have any choice. So for IELTS English test after 7 August 2025, then you need 7 each on IELTS. PT academic 58 in listening, 59 in reading, 69 in writing and 76 in speaking. If you are TOEFL, then this is scores. If you are doing Cambridge, then you need this scores. Okay, this is the first requirement you must need to meet. And if you have given the English test before 6 August, then PT academic you need 65 each. IELTS, if you have given the IELTS 7 each. So online or at home test, CAANZ does not accept a result from online or at home version of English test, including all of this. Okay, so you can just see this, or I will give you in this video description, I'll give you the link for each of these requirements things. Okay, so this is the English requirement. So after the English requirement, let's say you have the English requirements, or you are planning to give the English, then next part is qualification comparability. So for accounting, you need at least an Australian bachelor's degree or higher, AQF level 7 or above. That is AQF level 7 in Australia means it's a bachelor's degree, or an overseas territory qualification and or professional membership that is comparable to at least Australian bachelor's degree. Okay, what is this means is, you can do skill assessment based on your overseas bachelor's degree as well, but it should be comparable with the Australian one, or it should be recognized as similar as Australian degree. So how do we know that? What I can assure you is, if you have studied Bachelor's of Business Studies in Tribhuvan University, Nepal, 4 years bachelor's, then you are qualified. Okay, you should have your major in either accounting or finance, and you are eligible for accounting skill assessment. And if you are from other countries, then you can simply go here in competency areas. For the skill assessment on these occupation, accountant, tax accountant, external auditor, management accountant, finance manager or corporate treasurer, if you are from overseas, your degree must include these subject, okay, in your syllabus. First one is accounting system and process, mandatory for all. Financial accounting and reporting, mandatory for all. Management accounting, mandatory. Finance, audit and assurance, business law, taxation law, economics, quantitative method. So these subjects must include in your syllabus. So go and check your university degree syllabus or course description and see if these subjects are included or not, or see your mark sheet or transcript and check if these subjects are included or not. Taxation law is optional for accountant general, because accounting general is more about the company accounting, not the taxation. But for taxation accountant, it is mandatory. Another important thing, if your qualification does not fully meet the requirement competency areas, you may choose to complete additional studies through the CA Foundation pathway or an accredited territory course. But what you have to be careful here is, you can't claim your experience before your degree. Okay, so let's jump into the next one, supporting documents. So what are the supporting documentation that we need to provide for, let's go for first academic part. For academic part, we need degree certificate, official academic transcript, and course description. So course description, this one is especially for those who are doing skill assessment based on their overseas bachelor's or master's degree in accounting or in finance. You need to submit your course description as well. As I said you here, they used your course description to compare these courses. Also, one of the important things, when you study your bachelor's or master's in Australia, if you go to the college or university website, you can see there if CAANZ or CPA or IPA recognize your degree or not. If it's recognized, then you don't need to provide the course description. Let's go to the supporting documentation for academic. Supporting documentation, what to include? You need current passport photo page, name change evidence if applicable, a recent passport size photo, and third party authorization, CAANZ third party authorization form. If someone is applying on your behalf, only this one, but if you are applying by yourself, then you don't need to do it. English language proficiency, we already talked about it, and educational qualification, degree certificate must show. Okay, this is the part you have to go through it, you have to read carefully. Degree certificate, official academic, and course description must show award title, institution name, completion year, and final grade. You can go through here and see if it's not in English, what you have to do, and if here is syllabus or course description for non-accredited degrees. So if you are from overseas, you need the syllabus or course description to submit. An important note, you guys can read it out. I will give this link in the description, so you can go and check it out. So we are already up to supporting document for academic part, which is degree certificate and transcript is important, and addition to that, if you are from overseas, you need the course description or syllabus. So I will also tell you where can you find the course description. If you are from Tribhuvan University, I have a link here. I will give it to you in the description, or if you want, then I can just share you this whole file, so you can just check whatever you want. And from here, this is the one. If you have studied in Tribhuvan University, Bachelor's of Business Studies, this is the course description they want for. Okay, now the most important, if you have experience of working in overseas or in Australia, what are the documents you need? And there are some kind of question you might have, like what happen if I have only 3 months of experience? What happen if I have only 1 year of experience? What if I have only 2 years of experience? Because you can get a point after 3 years in overseas case. So in this case, what you have to consider is, what is your main target for the 189 or 190, 491, or your target is sponsorship. It may not be useful for point system, but it will be very useful for your sponsorship. Let's say you are studying master's degree in Australia and you have 3 months of experience back in Nepal or 6 months of experience back in Nepal, and you got a job in accounting recently and your employer wants to sponsor you. Who knows? So in that case, you have only 6 months. If you have only 6 months of experience in Australia, you can add your 6 months of experience from overseas to make 1 year and can do a 4.2. Same case, if you have 1.5 years experience in Nepal or India or Bangladesh or Pakistan, then you can use that experience, 1.5 years of experience of that and 1.5 years of here, total 3, and with the 3 years of experience, you can do your 186 visa. That's also a PR. So this is very important for sponsorship purpose. And if you are doing the skill assessment and if you have some experience back in Nepal, I would say like more than 3 months, then I would recommend you to claim that experience, because in future that might be useful. What are the supporting documents you need for the employment skill assessment? The first things you need is employment reference letter. Tax must meet with nominated occupation. What is the nominated occupation tax? Here for the accounting, I will show you here. If you go here in the skills Australia website, this is most commonly, these are the tax you should doing in your current work to claim the work experience. So in your reference letter, this tax must need to include, but not same as copy paste, but based on what you are doing in your current job. So this task must be included. So if you need any sample of the implement reference letter, or you can message me in my Instagram, I can forward that to you. And then payslip and bank statement. If you can provide bank statement for whole duration of your job, then that would be best. Or if you can't, then they will consider, like, if you can provide first and then mid and then last, that is also considerable. And tax documents, if you are paying a tax to the government, and if you can take the tax document, if you can get the tax documents, that would be better as well. So let's go to the CAANZ website and check in detail, like what actually they need. Firstly, what accounts as skill employment? CAANZ considers your work experience as skill if it happened after you completed a relevant territorial qualification or professional membership comparable to an Australian bachelor's degree. So what does this means is, if you have experience before your bachelor's degree, then you can't claim that experience. You can only claim your experience after your bachelor's degree. One matches the tax listed under your nominated ANZ code, took place within the 10 years before your CAANZ skill assessment application, was paid in a continuous for at least 20 hours per week. What is this means is, if you are doing a part-time and you are only working 20 hours per week, that is also fine. It's up to at least 1 year of work without overlapping claims. You cannot claim more than 12 months of experience in a 12-month period if you worked in 2 jobs at the same time. Choose the one that best matches your nominated occupation. CAANZ will assess the longest possible period of relevant work. And what documents do I need now? A reference letter from your employer, payslip from the start, middle, and end, or most recent of your employment period. And if you have bank statement, that is better as well. And reference letter. So what are the reference letters should look like? Business letterhead with full address and contact details, your name and clear signature of reference. So these are the things you must need to have in your reference letter. I will give you this link in the description, or if you want this file, just message me in my Instagram or just comment down, and then I will reply you in a comment as well. So if you do not have a standard document, what happens then? Then government tax record is also fine. Bank statement showing salary, if you do not have the payslip, that's also fine. Implement contract with job details, also fine. So these are the options you have if you do not have these standard documents. And there is one case, if you are self-employed back in your country, or you have a accounting firm and you are working there, then what are the documents you need? These are the documents you need. So these are the documentation part, and you have to prepare this document very carefully. Now I gave you the documentation part, everything, I hope. Now how you can do is, let's go to here. From here, submit your document application. If you have everything ready, just click here, submit your application. And if you are new, make sure you have read the skill assessment requirements, prepared all supporting documents, fees and processing times. Okay, so now if you are new, go here. Do your login or create an account if you are new, and then you can do your skill assessment. This video is already too long, so I'm not going to show you how you can do your skill assessment from here in this video, but next video will be about actually doing a skill assessment. I will do one skill assessment with you guys in the video. So up to that time, maybe a week, just prepare your document, prepare your all these document I told you, and then we'll do it together. Or if you are from any other background, then you have to prepare this document, and you may need additional document to this. Okay, so this was for today. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please do subscribe my channel, and see you in next video.